Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you all about how manifestation actually works. This video is going to be extremely helpful because people manifest but they don't know how it works. So a lot of times people will manifest inconsistently. People will manifest not knowing what they're doing, if it's working or not, if it's not working, and people will just not actively manifest. What happens when you don't actively manifest? I'll tell you right now. You go with the flow of life. That can be good for some if you don't really have too many goals, but if you have many goals, it's not really helping you. That's not doing much for you. So when you actively manifest, let's just say if your day was supposed to go however, and a giant influencing factor in how your day goes usually is planets. Not just your zodiac sign, your entire zodiac chart. And unless you're 100% good at astrology and you can predict certain financial weathers, certain relationship weathers, certain aspects of safety, and what days are you're likely to be less safe versus other days, because in astrology, it literally tells you everything. That's why billionaires have pocket astrologists. Not just, not just millionaires. What I'm saying is billionaires will have astrologists because they know everything's a science. There's no question as to when something's happening. It's happening when the planets is basically determining it. And it's not 100% guaranteed because only God at the end of the day can 100% guarantee anything. God can actually shift timelines. That's why it's never 100%. There's no 100% chance with astrology. Everything is up to God. God is the one who made the planets. And if he wants to, he can override them. Just like he can override a prophecy, etc. But in this video, I'll explain to you how your manifestations work. Because there's many forms of manifesting and people just give up. Or people will have what they asked for come to them, and they won't know it's that what they just asked for came to them. Some people are not that specific, and they'll get exactly what they asked for. I'm going to give you an example. If someone's asking for money, I'm manifesting money, and you find the dollar on the ground, you thought you just found the dollar on the ground, when last week you manifested money, right? You had no idea those two came together. There's no way for a human, no way at all, for a human to tell outside of the higher or the more specific archangels when it comes to numerology and the archangels that are behind the scenes of manifestation, which even some of them are, not all of the archangels are tied to manifesting dynamics. Those are more so of the category of angels of like, that are not archangels, like the really complex ones that don't really have energy forms that we can perceive. What? Yeah, the higher archangels. Like not archangels, but like the chairs, the thrones, dominions, different categories that people call, because they have names of what they are online, but how I identify them is completely different based on their energy form. Not to be overly complicated, but long story short, if you're manifesting money, for example, but you're not specific, you're not going to get a specific amount of money. Sometimes people will get a check in the mail, like, oh, here's a surprise, here's a surprise check for, let's just say, $300,000, etc. Versus, like, oh, this is like you overpaid fees in college and now you're getting this program's blah, 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 which does happen. It's actually happened in the past. People have accidentally paid the wrong, etc. because the financial office, and they're like, oh, we're sending you this back, and that's how their manifestation came to them, or that person wins in some form of scratch off gambling ticket, etc. in the casino, etc. But when it comes to manifesting and you're just saying money, it could be anything. It could be a penny, which most likely it probably is a penny. And that's how you see it, versus you're asking for a certain amount. So when you ask for a certain amount, you'll see pennies up to the certain amount. That's why I say when you find change on the ground, you're actually finding change. So when it comes to manifestation, be very specific, and specific's on its way. Now, the question's when. And I'm going to explain this. I'm going to get really detailed very soon, but when is it coming to you? Well, whenever God decides it's ready to come to you. So certain people on YouTube who acknowledge God as the Most High, which God is the Most High. He's the creator of heaven and earth, and all that is good is always through him. But you have to understand, when you're manifesting on your own, all you're doing is passing manifestations upward that go to him, and he'll accept or reject it. That's why people who are really rotten people don't manifest the same as people who are doing really good or moving themselves closer to God and just being good people and helping people out, because he'll accept your manifestation or he'll reject it, and he'll put you with the default whatever you're supposed to go down, whatever path. Or he'll send something your way to correct you as a bad person so you become better. Saying that, you have to understand that we are, and there are some channels on this on YouTube that state, yeah, we are co-creating, we are secondary creating, we are creating only our own reality with the help of God. And other channels will be like, well, we are our own, we are the master universe, and no, we're just humans. At the end of the day, we turn to ash, and nothing will stop that. That's how strong as humans we are. I don't mean to belittle anyone, but humans are not that strong. Only strong in the sense that God's behind us, because he lets us do certain things. Certain celebrities, when it went to their head that they thought everything was 100% because of them, God's like, oh really? How about this? You're not smiling and laughing anymore, are you, celebrity? And it's happened. Like, whole entire families have been lost. Like, just, yeah. So I'm giving you some examples on that in the future. But when you manifest, keep in mind whatever you're asking, and when you're extremely specific, and it's on its way to you. It could be a week. It could be 3 weeks. It could be tomorrow. It could be 5 seconds. That's why some people will manifest and they'll see something like 5 seconds later. Okay, this is a really good point. You ever do some kind of manifesting technique and something happened directly afterwards, like one day afterwards, and you're like, wow, that really worked, and it never works again? What's that? It means that blessing was kind of on like backed up, and it came to you just because it was coming to you anyway, so you emphasized it by changing your beliefs and somehow overriding the subconscious mind. Because if God gives you something that you're not going to accept because you truly don't believe you're even worth, it's even worth you containing, you're not going to contain it. Like, Jesus died on the cross and people at the time still didn't believe it. So what are people going to believe? Angels have full-fledged shown up directly in front of people, and then they've taken off and people are like, I think that happened. And so humans are subject to really not believe stuff. Like, it's just the day and age we're trained in, is that humans don't believe in almost anything. A lot of people don't believe in themselves, so they'll not believe in anything around them. And at the end of the day, people will move themselves away from God because they don't believe that he's helping them, when he literally answers a prayer whenever you ask, he'll answer. But the answer is not what you want it to be, it's what he wants it to be. Because he knows what's best for you. If you know what was best for you, you wouldn't be in your situation. Yay! There we go! So, when we manifest, that's a huge thing. It's basically why you guys see instant results is because something's usually backed up on its way to you. If everything's clear, and you want to be on a certain path, then things will take a lot longer. But it's because it's in your favor. And someone else gave a good example of this to me a very long time ago. It's basically everything, and speaking on back order, when you ask for, and keep in mind, God is God. The universe is a mechanism that God made. I made an entire video about that. If you haven't watched that, go watch that video. So there's the laws of physics, the laws of attraction, there's a whole bunch of laws. And physical law must run upon spiritual law. So when you manifest, and we're working with the dynamic, we're working with the fishbowl. If the fishbowl spins this way with water because there's a machine in it making it spin that way with water, we'll go with the flow. If you want to break the flow, at least know how to reset which direction it spins in, which if you can't do that, then don't, because it'll mess with the flow and you'll probably mess the water up. So follow spiritual laws, follow physical laws. It'll work in your favor unless you know how to do certain things around them safely, which most humans don't. Now, what do you do next? You stay patient. So when you manifest, you have to keep in mind, because people will manifest once. the thing about humans, they will manifest. Us as humans will manifest once. So we'll do one day of manifestation, maybe a week most. Inconsistently a week, and then people just give up. So they might have found some kind of manifesting technique. They did it for a few days. They saw it worked immediately. Then it stopped working. The backup method I just taught, which the blessing was stuck. Then it came to you just because you released something, and now it's taking longer. It doesn't seem like it doesn't work because it's actually taking longer. The thing is, it's on its way now because what happened is you're in a specific mind state and where your beliefs are at a very specific point. So as time goes by and as you practice different manifesting methods, it's trickling to you. So your beliefs invite, let's just say 6 months ago, whatever you said about yourself last, like in the week, 6 months ago from now, you're still having that manifest for you. Whether you realize it or not, when you get to the end of this life, you'll find out. But you don't want to get to the end of this life to find out. So basically, 6 months ago, you're living something right now that you manifested for yourself 6 months ago. So I like the 6-month rule because it really helps people. So whatever you're manifesting, just expect it to come in 6 months, but not the way that you expected it. So, and here's the thing. A lot of people are, and that's why I teach positive affirmation with words, because people will manifest one thing, but they haven't changed the way they talk about themselves. People are like, oh, I'm broke, I can't do that anyway. Well, you just said you're broke, but now you're saying the affirmations, I am rich and I am wealthy. Like, you can't, those two can't fit in one space. As I say, demons can't hang out with angels in heaven. You pick one or the other, okay? So in that space, in that high space, no low vibes are allowed. So pick what you want to manifest, because, and people are like, well, nothing I ever wish for ever comes true. I'm like, yes, it does. You wish for this, but then let's just say you wish for a peaceful home. And then you're inviting in all these problems with your energy. And now this beats this because it's bigger. But if you make this bigger, then it can override whatever's happening, whatever's going on. And 3 ways that I'll teach right now about how you override that. Number 1, positive affirmation. I actually found out through divination, through experience and discernment and helping people, that when you actively take, because most of the positive affirmation about yourself that you probably think you say, because I have some advanced people on my channel. I really do have some advanced spiritualists on my channel. I have beginners on my channel as well who are a lot more advanced than they think as well. But a lot of times your positive affirmation is in conversations with people. So instead of speaking bad about yourself, you speak positively, but sometimes that's not enough to get a momentum of a manifestation heading in your direction. So if you say out loud, and try this, write on your mirror with a dry erase marker, a red dry erase marker or a black one, doesn't matter. One affirmation you can say at least 2 to 3 times a day. Yay! And guess what's going to happen? Within 6 months, and you can expect, and when I say 6 months, make sure you're asking God first, because He's the one who approves of it. In about 6 months, it'll be on its way to you. Like, it'll be there, or it'll probably happen before that, but it's on its way to you. What happens when you skip days when you manifest? It makes it slower. It flat out makes it slower, or, because the biggest thing is when people manifest, they don't know they got what they asked for because it comes a little differently, just because people are not 100% specific. It's really interesting because we find this out at the end of our life. Like, we get to rewatch some of the things like, oh, you manifested money for a whole month straight, and you weren't specific, so you got pennies and dollars until a little more came, versus, okay, I'm manifesting 999, whatever, okay? So it's coming to you, but be specific and practice positive affirmation. Unless you want a very generalized, specific positive affirmation, you can say combine both. So have something specific, narrow, and then something wide. So narrow spectrum, then wide spectrum. So basically, I am rich and I am wealthy, and then you can put in the mirror, and I started 3 of my small businesses effortlessly, etc. Because that word holds a lot of power. There you go. Say it 3 times a day, and really focus on the words when you say them, because your words When you write something down, you're casting a spell. It's literally a spell. It's called spelling for a reason, because words hold so much power. God made the world in 7 days because he spoke it. He literally made the word. He made the world through his word. He saw that it was good, and that's that. When it comes to your word, the word, even it says in the Bible, it can create or it can destroy. Which I'll have a lot more specifics. Like, I have to write down because I don't like mispronouncing a verse, because like I said, my content will be in 3 years from now. You'll come back on my video and the information will be 100% correct still. I'm not making one mistake when it comes to any form of, I should have corrected it there. No, I won't even write it across the street like, hey, nope. So I'm making sure this is 100% good for you guys to practice, not just, oops, I should have said this one number off, but that's how your manifestations come back to you later on and not how you expect them. So the best way to do it is to do them every single day. And sometimes you guys expect them in 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. That's lucky, and that's a blessing if it happens. I mean, it's a blessing if it happens sooner than you like, but expect it to take longer. Because a tree that grows overnight can fall over overnight. You don't want that tree. But an oak tree, it can't be knocked over like that. It has so many acorns and it sprouts so many new oak trees. So that's one thing you want to do when you're manifesting. So I highly suggest practicing active manifestation if you don't like where you're at in life right now. If you would like a better life, this could be in health, anything you do. Health, wealth, mental peace, clarity, sincerity from others, anything. It could be any department of your life. There's no limits. There's zero limits. The only limit's the mind. So there's absolutely no limit. And when I say zero, there's none. If you think there's a limit, that's a limiting belief. Yay! So another method that I suggest you guys do daily, and this one is, it'll take you time, but keep in mind when you do something in the spiritual realm, such as give time towards something, because I'll tell people like, hey, you should probably visualize this more often. There's football players who said they've made it just by visualizing a football in their hand on TV. Like they visualized it on TV with cameras pointing at them, and they had a football in their hand. They could feel the football. They could smell the football. They can everything. They just were involved, and they do the same visualization for about every day for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they got really lucky, which they just kind of mapped out where they wanted to head because they didn't like the default of where their life was heading. Maybe they didn't come from a good background. Maybe people told them they couldn't. Maybe they got kicked off of whatever. Maybe luck was not in their favor until they rewrote over it. Remember how I said this much can involve, can basically eat this much, but if you make this much bigger, it'll eat this much. So if the default of your life is like this, and your manifesting abilities are like this, it overrides whatever you're supposed to do. And most importantly, when you ask God, He'll see you're putting effort towards manifestation, and He'll approve it. He'll send it through. It'll surprise you in beautiful ways. So manifest every single day if you can. That's a thing, because you're like, well, I forgot to manifest. Well, you didn't forget to live your life that day, did you? So a little bit of time, because you're literally paying for a future for yourself. In this world and in the next world, you'll pay for everything. What I mean by pay for everything, you'll pay for everything. You'll pay for everything in the sense that when you put energy towards something, you're paying something energy. In this world and the spiritual world, nothing's free. So gemstones, they cost money, which you can get from floridastoneman.com. But when it comes with, that's why when you meditate on your guides, you make them stronger because you're paying them energy, so they're becoming stronger with that payment. And people are like, well, I don't have to meditate on my guides for them to help me. I just gotta pretend like they're there. Well, they're looking at you like, okay, we can only help you so much because you didn't give them the strength through time and meditation. But when you meditate on them, they become strong. They're like, okay, they'll be able to move stuff. That's a little sneak peek for when your guides become strong. They'll be like, if someone messes with you in public, they can literally throw something across the room. Just a little sneak peek. I can't really say much about that, but when your angels get strong, They can do cool things. Now, when it comes to the other form of visualization, I just gave it away. When it comes to the other form of manifestation is, I speak everything that's on my mind. If it's on my mind, it's gonna be spoken. Is the other form of manifestations visualization. I said three methods. If you can do these two, then you'll get to where you want to be, and it won't be a surprise. So, if you visualize every single day, I highly suggest you find a visualization method you're comfortable with. The strongest one is visualizing with your eyes open or 50% open, because you can do it with your eyes closed if that's better for you. Like I said, it's different for everyone. But when you do that, you're literally just taking whatever script your life is supposed to be on, you're just carving it over it. Just, if it was in black, now you're writing over it with like paint, okay? It's that simple. This video is not going to be too long. I did say 3, but this is 2. So, positive affirmation, visualization. Oh, number 3 is put action towards what you would like to do. Make sure you're busy, but don't spread yourself too thin. If you're doing as much as you can do to get to where you want to be in life, guess what? Then you're doing as much as you can do. Just be patient. But if you're doing absolutely nothing, then do a little more, and it just takes some action. And then trust in God. Always talk to God. Assume that He's answering your prayer, because He is. Whenever you ask, He immediately starts answering your prayer. Just trust in Him. Trust in the Lord. If you have a worry about whatever is coming your way, give it to Him. God is the one in control. Ask Him for guidance, and He will give you guidance. Your blessing's on its way, but the more you're able to visualize and affirm, like literally because life is just a script. When we get, even before our life, if you want to know what the secret of astrology, which I'm only allowed to say a certain amount of secrets. Okay, so here's a little secret about astrology. And I can say this because for the people who watch this deep into the videos, you get really good secrets. So your your entire chart is determined on what kind of person you're meant to be, so you learn, so your karmic lessons help move you towards your highest good. Yeah, so you have a good idea about which family you're going to be born into. You have a good idea about your zodiac sign before you get here. You have a good idea about a whole bunch of things before you get here, but it's to move you towards your highest good. So with that in mind, everything that you're manifesting is going to come true, but when it should, based on what will be best for you. Trust in the Most High God, and everything's on its way towards you. So actively manifest every single day, and you're just changing the script. Like, so if you had all this gunk coming your way, let's just say you've had 365 days that are not your favorite days. Like, 365 days of the year are supposed to pass by coming up, right? And you're not going to be happy. Let's just say you were not going to be happy with where you're at in those 365 days. When you manifest, you're erasing those, and you're erasing them like 6 months into the year. Then everything after that is just new blessings. Now, if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section, guys, because it's tough to really get you guys to conceptualize the manifestation and visualization, because people have an idea of what it means, but people don't really know what it means. If you have any questions, guys, ask them in the comment sections. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!